He said, sit tight, put your helmet on, and it'll be a different experience. And it was.
Chuck Maris of Mars telling you what to expect this week on the Red and Blue Review. Hey, Gupper and the gang, Daryl Bird, Howie Lindsay, going to talk a little football and basketball. Please say hello to the sheriff of all things blue. This is our version of Papa Smurf.
Well, thank you.
Daryl Bird.
With a take on the red side, I need the intro music like you're starting a football game. Ladies and gentlemen, your Louisville Cardinals, the only team in America that can't win at home to save its life. They need to take Papa off, not Papa John's Bowl, just call it the John, because they are stinking up the joint every week.
Hey, now that's coming from a guy that watched the Vanderbilt game.
That was a road game.
You should be ashamed of yourself, picking on this young father here.
Oh, man. We can't win at home. That is absolutely true. Louisville cannot do it. They just can't win in the Papa John's. But Vanderbilt Commodores, you lost by 30 to Vanderbilt. That was ugly.
Hey, but Vanderbilt got theirs. Vanderbilt got beat by Cleveland State in basketball, so that'll show them, right, DB?
Yeah, sure.
Now,
we'll go with that.
Louisville now off to a 2-0 start. Howie just got back from the basketball game. The Cards off to a good start. They saw a bad basketball game and almost a good fight.
Absolutely. 68-48 win over Lamar, not the political candidate, Lamar, a school in Texas, with Pat Knight as the coach, right? And, of course, just like his father, just about gets thrown out of the game. I loved it. He had to be restrained from the referee. He's screaming things, lots of different things. Don't read his lips, but he's screaming things about, you're such a big man, throw me out of the game, which typically is a cue for the referee to actually throw him out of the game. But he didn't get thrown out.
Actually, what he's saying there is blue shirt. He didn't say anything. He said blue shirt.
I love the student section of this game chanting, throw a chair. That was pretty cool.
Okay, we've digressed to the point that we cannot possibly capture the show unless we go into the lightning round. Still careening out of control, but I can tell you Kentucky Corner has locations all over the Commonwealth, including the Florence Mall and the Ashland Town Mall, and on your corner by going to KentuckyCornerOnline.com. Well, what's hot at the University of Kentucky is Anthony Davis, the freshman. Simply fantastic. Darius Miller says, when Davis's man sags on defense, that is going to leave Davis open for a dunk.
Every time his man helps up, we just throw it to the rim and he dunks it. So, it helps out a lot.
Most definitely, make the easy play, get the easy basket. So that's all we just try to do, just make easy plays and, score real quick and get back on defense.
It kind of just demoralizes the other team. Think about it. You play great defense and the guy's falling out of bounds and throws it at the rim and the guy dunks it and smashes it and the whole crowd goes nuts. You play zone, he's hanging around the rim, so you're doing a great job in zone and all of a sudden your point guard throws it at the rim and he dunks it. It takes the wind out of your sails. In transition, you're a small guard, I'm getting dunked on. If he's running, you're standing there saying, I'm going to get dunked on here. So usually you'll slow down so you're not on a highlight tape and just let him do it.
The other half of that is you're a small guard and you're leading the break and he's on the other end and you say, nah, I'm just going to pull it out. I'll go back out here and set it up. The story to be written, and I got to work on this pretty soon, I want to know how unique of a talent is this kid compared to all the other players Calipari's had through the years, because what you have is a 6'1" former point guard who grew 10 inches over the course of about 2.5 years, and now he's a 6'10" power forward who can still handle the ball like a point guard used to and block three-pointers with regularity. It's a pretty unique talent, I think.
He will lead the world in dunks this year. Well, what's hot for the University of Louisville is Rick Pitino now with 601 victories on his career, and Kentucky and Louisville both played a prominent role in Rick reaching the 600 plateau.
If you reach milestones, you want to reach it coaching great people. I'm so appreciative to Tom Jurich because, he hired me and he's been very loyal to me. And you always want to reach milestones coaching great kids at a place you truly love. And that's been the case here. I hope we do. I hope we get to 700 in a short period of time. It's great to experience milestones, not for yourself, but with your families and your players and the people you love.
It was a very cool ceremony, very short ceremony actually. Right after that game, presented him with the game ball and presented him with a picture of self with 600 and that kind of thing, and that was it. It was quick. We were expecting some kind of speech, but he really did not make a whole lot of it. And even in the postgame, he didn't make a whole lot of it. He wants to get to 700. The one thing that he did say that I thought was fantastic, he was talking about how much he loves Louisville, how much he loves the city. He said it's the best city he's ever coached in. I don't know if that was a message to anybody else.
Just Boston. I'm sure he did not have great memories of
Oh, he
Boston.
coached in Lexington and spent most of his time in Louisville anyway.
Hey, there you go.
Well, what's not hot, as you heard Daryl chiming in there at Kentucky, is UK football. It's now officially over, in case you hadn't noticed. That game against Vanderbilt may have set the program pre-Bear Bryant. It set it back that far. Kentucky was just awful. Vanderbilt, their biggest win over Kentucky in 40 years.
Just one of the top teams in the country in penalties. We had penalty after penalty after penalty in crucial situations where we really couldn't get ourselves off the field on third down. Offensively, I'm not sure what the final stat was. I know at half we were 0 for 6. Just got tougher for us. We understand that. Still some things out there for us to play for.
The only thing worse than having to face the media after a game like that is having to do it with the Vanderbilt students still celebrating so loud outside that you can hear it. That's not a good way to start, and that's kind of the way that the entire thing went. A bad snap, a 3-yard touchdown drive. From that point forward, you see Vandy. Vandy is actually a pretty good football team. They're not bad at all, but you don't lose 38-8 when you think you've got your season turned around. And the reason Gary said season over, now you have to win 2 out of 2 to become bowl eligible, and you ain't winning at Georgia. Georgia is playing for the SEC East Championship, and that's a program that's had its own struggles, so they're going to come out on fire. That will take you down to what, I don't know, it's the closest thing Kentucky's going to have to a bowl game. That will be playing Tennessee and hoping to end the streak at home the Saturday after Thanksgiving, but you can just see just big play after big play by Vanderbilt.
Well, that's the only thing they've got to play for now is the hope that they can end that streak against Tennessee and give Kentucky some type of momentum going into next season. Well, Louisville doesn't have much to crow out about either because they're what's not hot. The football team is what's not hot. On the Louisville side of things, Charlie Strong's team absolutely came out flat against Pittsburgh over the weekend. Dominic Brown told me the Cards aren't as good as they thought they were on the bus ride home from West Virginia.
So why couldn't you do it after you've been warned, pulled off of practice? Why aren't you able to make it click?
I feel that we're not good enough yet to be all up on the pedestal. We still got to come and work. Tomorrow we start off a new week, a new opponent, and just flush this game and start off right.
Guys are dropping balls. Guys are just going through the motions. So I get them off the field. So hoping that would get their attention, that we would come back, bounce back, and come and play.
What did you tell them when you went back inside, Charlie?
What did I tell them? It wasn't very good.
And by wasn't very good, he means wasn't very nice. Now, Louisville had all the motivation in the world. We're seeing here Anthony Connor coming out. It's senior day. He's hugging his coach. They went back into the locker room. They had all the motivation. The Big East season was on the line and just came out flat. Great clip there from Dominic Brown talking about we're just not good enough. Yeah. And that's really what it comes down to. Louisville thought, hey, we beat West Virginia. We got this thing covered. And they're just not that good. They're not good enough to do that yet.
And I really thought, even though it was a 7-point game at the half, it felt like Louisville was getting blown out. I mean, it was that flat of an effort. Well, the buzz at Kentucky is Kansas versus Kentucky in basketball this week. You don't have to wait until March for that kind of matchup. You're going to get it right now in November. Anthony Davis says even though he's a freshman, he's played in so many big games on the AAU circuit and in high school that playing against Kansas in the Garden won't really be that intimidating.
Yeah, I think we played so many, big venues, McDonald's, Jordan, USA team and everything. So I think it's just like another game, just that, no one actually played in Madison Square Garden. Only a couple people. So some guys gonna be real new and exciting.
I just don't know if we're ready to play a team like Kansas or maybe a team like Penn State, a team that's you just saw the first half of this game. You had to walk away saying, maybe he's right. Then you see the second half and say, they can beat anybody. Well, what about the first half? What if we play 2 halves that way? There's anybody in the country can beat us.
I am so looking forward to this week because it gives UK fans a tremendous early look at 2 critical things. You're playing Kansas in Madison Square Garden, huge national stage, huge national television audience. It's about as big as it's going to get until March gets here. The other thing I like is the tournament in Connecticut at the end of the week. Penn State and some other guys, they play Saturday, Sunday, back-to-back. That gives you the feel of an SEC tournament where you have to play 3 games in 3 days. Let's see how these guys respond playing Saturday, turning right around playing Sunday, and see how they handle the rest, see how they handle the fatigue. It'll be a good test. I mean, nothing matters this early. Win-loss is not going to affect your season by a whole lot, but it is an interesting preview.
The buzz at the University of Louisville is the fact that Rick not only wants that milestone this year of 600 wins, but he wants another national title.
I want to win a championship here badly. Badly. You know, it's not just a Final Four, and we've had the character, we have the discipline to someday get that done. We just got to keep recruiting the Shane Behannons, because let's face it, you know, when you have freshmen like that, there's always a chance that you can get to a Final Four and win a championships.
I absolutely agree with him. More players like Shane Behannon. I mean, the kid is phenomenal. Shane Behannon, 2 college games, 2 double-doubles. And I think other guys like Kyle Keurig, they've developed so well. Chris Smith has developed so well. There's Shane there with just some monster dunks in that first game. And really, I think from Louisville fans' standpoint, they'd love to see that. They want more players like those kids. I don't think that Louisville signed a player like that in this signing class. I mean, that's the trouble. And really, that's what Louisville fans are buzzing about is you've got Terry Rozier signed for the 2012 class. Is he going to be the only one? Are you going to go out and get another player, maybe a top 50 player, because Rozier's not in that top 50? He may be a fantastic player. He might just be underrated, but he's not on Shane Behannon's level.
Here's your chance to talk some smack back after a bad weekend of football on both sides of the red and blue planet. Go to our Facebook page, Red and Blue Review Facebook, and we've got a fan poll we've posted, and we want your opinion. Who has the more embarrassing loss this year? Kentucky losing by 30 at Vandy, or Louisville losing by 7 at home to FIU? Go to Red and Blue Review, our Facebook page, and tell us who should be more red-faced, the Cats or the Cards. And you can go to the Facebook page for All-State Ford to register for tickets to the Kentucky season finale against Tennessee. Click on the bowl game. Click on like on the All-State Ford Facebook page to put in your vote. Well, Cal says one of his players lost his mind, and we're not talking about the 2 that got involved in an accident on Friday night, or I guess it was actually early Friday morning. We'll do that after Daryl tells us about the Cat's Paws issue this week.
I do appreciate it, sir. We actually sneak peek this week. We have a preview of the cover that's not even on the newsstand yet. How about that? Opener, a slam dunk. Davis scored 23 points. Tremendous game for him. You can run out, buy it, get it through us at shopcatspaws.com. But if you want to test it out, they're all over the state in Barnes & Noble, lots of speedways and places like that. Give us a peek.